We're on Parah Perek Mishnah Dalet, short Perek, fourth Mishnah, last Mishnah in the fourth chapter of Masechet Parah. Says the Mishnah, Kol ha'osukim b'parah mitchila ve'ad sof. Anyone involved in the preparation of the parah from the beginning to the end, mitamin begadim. Mitamin begadim means they are themselves tamei. This is a very fascinating aspect of the Parah Adumah. The ashes of the Parah Adumah are mitaher. If you sprinkle them on somebody, they make somebody who's tahor. Tamei tahor, right? It's mitaheret tameim, but it's also mitamei tatehorim. But if you do it and you had to be tahor in order to prepare it, it makes them mitamin begadim, makes them tamei begadim. Not only are they tamei, okay, but their clothes are tamei, and they have to remember to wash their clothes, i.e. take them to the mikvah. Moreover, uposlin ota b'melacha. If you're doing melacha, if those people who are engaged in anyone who's asukin, who's engaged in the preparation of the Parah Adumah, if they do any other melacha, any other work at the same time, we learn from the psukim that is posel, that negates the Parah Adumah. Let's do each one because we learn this from psukim in a second. Okay, we say midamid begadim because it says dichtiv v'shlich el toch seifad parah. Remember, you throw the hyssop, you throw the izov and the eitz eretz ve'izov v'shitolat into the burning thing, and then it says v'chibes begadav kohen. That kohen has to then wash his clothes, i.e. bring them to the mikvah. Okay, and ubisveifa taktiv, and b'sveifa it says v'asareifota yechabes begadav, and the burner also has to wash his clothes, etc., etc. Okay, Ella, it says im hamashlich et ha'izov mitamei begadim, but the guy who just throws in something is tamei hasareif l'kol shekain. Then obviously the sareif is also Ella ba hakatuv v'lemedcha. The pasuk came and taught you al kol ha'oskim b'parah. Anyone involved mitchila ve'asov from beginning to end, shu tu'unim kibutz begadim. They are tamei. That's kibutz begadim. Kibutz begadim, bitamin begadim. They have to wash their clothes, i.e. they are tamei and their clothing is tamei. And then they have to wait until the evening. Okay, tumat erev. Uposlim otam b'melacha. And why they pasul b'melacha? Because it says that this is a drasha from the pasuk. V'shachat otah. You have to slaughter it. V'lo she'aseh melacha acheret ima. You can't do anything else at the time. Remember, that's why we learned, according to some opinions, if you did two at one time, two Parah Adumas, two red calves, at the same time, that they would be pasul both, because each one, the guy's doing something else at the same time. So you can't do that. So therefore, ira b'psul shchitata. If there's a psul in the shchita, when you're slaughtering the red calf, the red cow, the Parah Adumah, when you're slaughtering it, it becomes pasul. It's no good. It's not a kosher animal. It's gone. You don't become tamei. Phew, like it's so interesting. Like they're worried about this red cow, and so it's so rare. Well, is the kohen tamei or not? Eraba bahazayata. Let's say that was fine, but then it became pasul bahazayata when it's being sprinkled, i.e., when you're sprinkling the blood. Then kolos they balifnei psula. Anyone that was involved before it became pasul mitama begadim. You had tamei. It was still a Parah Adumah, even though you didn't finish, but Nachar psula, whoever got involved after the animal is no longer usable, after it's pasul, eina mitamei begadim. Then it's not mitamei begadim because it's no longer a Parah Adumah, it's pasul. Nimtza'ach chumra kula. It turns out that this stringency that it's pasul is its kula. It's at least a kula vis-a-vis the tuma of the kohanim that now don't become tamei because it's not a Parah Adumah. So nonetheless, it says in Mishnah, la'olam mo'alimba. Okay, even when it's burned, before it's burned, until it becomes ashes, there's me'ila. Me'ila means if a person uses the Parah Adumah for his personal use to benefit, that's me'ila. That's benefiting from hegdesh, from the property of the Beit HaMikdash. It's a serious isur. You get karet. So you're always mo'alimba. Umar bin la'etzim. As long as it's still burning before it's ashes, you can add more wood onto the fire. Uma'aseha bayom. And it has to be prepared during the day. Ube kohen, okay, and it has to be done with the kohen, and hamalacha poselet, and any other additional work that you do that person who's preparing it does at the same time is posel. Ad sheteaseh efer, until it becomes ashes. So all of these rules apply. Me'ila, adding wood with a fire, it has to be done during the day, it has to be done by a kohen, and we're going to see there's exceptions, until it becomes efer, and malacha, concurrent work is posel, until it becomes efer, until it becomes ashes. Similarly, the water that you draw from the mei shiloach, in order to add the ashes, that also is malacha. So you're doing something else while you do it. Zeret hakatuv, that it's posel, the water until you put the ashes in it. Now, the Barturak brings the Tosefta and says the following: B'Tosefta mifaresh. Okay, all these actions, okay, have to be done by a person, by a Kohen, okay, and has to be done during the day. Chutz bi asefat efara, other than gathering the ashes after the burning is done. V'hamilui, and filling the water. We'll see that kiddush. Kiddush is adding the ashes to the water. Shecholim le'esof efer parah balayla. You're allowed to gather it at night. V'lishov mayim mina be'er. V'unikra milui. You can gather. You can draw water from the well. That's called milui. So we had asifa, gathering, milui. V'lasim betocha ha'efer, and to put the ashes into the water. That's called kiddush. So we said asefat efra. Milui is filling the water from the well, and kiddush, which is adding the ashes to the water. All of those things. Mutar balayla, you can do it at night. Remember, everything had to be done by the Kohen except for asefat efra, gathering his ashes, and milui and kiddush. Okay, and haza'ah, the sprinkling of the efer Parah Adumah. All of them can be done by a person, by a regular guy. Because if we look at the psukim, he says, look, sometimes it says v'asaf ish tahor, not a Kohen, some guy. Similarly, it says v'kach ezav v'tava b'mayim ish tahor. Any ish can go and then sprinkle ala oil ala kelim. Okay, anyone can do those things from the pasuk. So the preparation had to be done by a Kohen. But sprinkling, it says v'izah tahor, the tahor, any tahor person, bein shu Kohen, bein shu eno Kohen, until he's a Kohen or not. Okay, and we said malacha is supposed to out with the water ad she'atilu with the afer, until you put the afer into the water. Okay, then after that, anything you do with it, any other malacha, well, that is considered afer Parah Adumah. It's considered the mixture, and additional malacha is not posel. We'll stop here. Dedicate our learning to memory of my father of Simcha Be'ed Yitzchak Kalman. Make it a great day.